One of the cool things about the Vibe blender is that it's powerful enough to grind up fresh flour from whole grains. A little while ago we made a video about how to make almond flour or almond meal, so I'll link that at the end of the video if you want to check that out. But today we're going to make some fresh flour out of whole grains. Some of the benefits of making our own flour are that you get a much tastier, fresher, and nutrient-dense product than you might find on your shelves from the supermarket. Some of those flours have undergone intense processing and often come bleached. Making your own flour in small batch can be really cost-effective and helps to reduce waste in your home. We're going to make some wheat flour, some oat flour, and some spelt flour today, and then I'm going to show you how to turn them into ricotta and strawberry muffins using the oat and the spelt. Okay, so a few keys to making flour in your blender jug are to keep this really nice and dry. You don't want your flour to end up clumpy or moldy if you're not using it straight away. Secondly, you want to grind your grains in smaller batches around a cup at a time. It needs enough space to rotate evenly and aerate, otherwise it'll clump down around the blades. The third key is to only make as much as you need. Fresh flour won't keep as long as commercial products, and the nutrients start to deplete over time. The cool thing is that the whole grains do keep really well, and it takes almost no time to make flour fresh as you need it. It can also be really cost effective. We're going to get started with the wheat. These take the longest to grind up, but still only around a minute. So I'm going to put 1 cup of whole wheat into the clear blender jug. I'm going to select nut mode and blend for around a minute. So once it's blended for about a minute, have a look. If there's anything that hasn't been blended really well, give the jug a shake and put it back on for about 10 or 20 seconds. So I can see now that I have a really nice fine flour, and you can actually smell it. It's so fresh, so much different to what you pull off the shelves at the supermarket. So this is my first cup. If I wanted any more, then I'd just tip it out into a bowl and get ready to grind another cup. We found that in general, 1 cup of whole grains will turn into about 1.5 cups of flour. You can actually grind as little as 1 tablespoon in here if that's all you need. I can see that this is already really fine, but if you need a finer flour, then just go ahead and sift it over some baking paper. So now onto our oat flour. I would normally use whole oat groats, but I can only find steel cut ones in the supermarket, and they're just whole ones that have been cut into smaller pieces. So again, with 1 cup at a time, we're going to put it into the blender jug, and these ones only take around 40 to 50 seconds. So here's our fresh oat flour. Now onto our spelt flour. Same goes, 1 cup at a time into the blender jug, and this one will take around 50 seconds. All right, all done. There's our spelt flour. So if you're not using these flours straight away, they'll store in the cupboard for a few days, in the fridge for about a couple of weeks, and in the freezer for around about a month. So now I'm just going to use our fresh oat flour and spelt flour to make some awesome strawberry and ricotta muffins. I've got my oven preheating at 160 degrees Celsius or 320 Fahrenheit, and I've just got a muffin tray greased up and ready to go. The sweetness in these muffins is going to come mostly from a fruit puree, which I'm going to make out of dates. So I've got around 200 grams or about 1.5 cups of pitted dried dates soaking in some boiling water just to soften. Now you could use other types of dried fruits and make a paste out of those to sweeten your cakes or muffins. It's a really good way to add natural sweetness without the refined sugars. I'm going to use a little bit of coconut sugar today, but that's just because I really like the taste. So while our dates are soaking, I'm going to get started on my dry ingredients. Into a large bowl, I'm going to sift our flours. I have 1.5 cups of spelt and 1 cup of oat flour. I'm also going to sift through our baking powder and baking soda, just 1 teaspoon of each. Then I'm going to add in our 1/2 cup of coconut sugar and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to give it a quick whisk to make sure everything's nice and even. So I'm going to get my wet ingredients prepared now. I've got my dates that have been softening for about 10 minutes and I've just strained off the liquid. So these are going to go in with our eggs, our milk and our butter all into the Vibe blender. So I'm going to go straight in with our dates. That was about 200 grams or 1.5 cups. I have 2 eggs. I have 250 mils or about a cup of milk, and I have 150 mils of melted butter, which is about 3/4 of a cup. Okay, so on with the lid. I'm going to set it to smoothie mode and blend until it's just all really well combined. So that took about 30 seconds. Easy as. I'm just going to add it straight to the dry ingredients now. Now you just need to mix it until it's well combined. So now for the strawberries, I've got 2 cups just chopped up here. I'm going to use 3/4 to fold through my batter now and leave the rest to just put on top of the muffins before we bake. So just straight in, and we're going to really gently fold that through until it's just evenly dispersed through the batter. Into our prepared muffin tray, I'm just going to fill them up halfway, and I'm going to take 1/2 of the ricotta to just dot on top. If you mix the ricotta in with the strawberries, it'll fully disintegrate and you'll lose that really nice texture. Then we'll top them up with the rest of the batter, finishing off with the rest of the ricotta and the rest of our strawberries. These are good to go into the oven now, which has been preheating to 160 degrees Celsius or 320 Fahrenheit. They need about 40 to 45 minutes. These strawberry and ricotta spelt muffins are delicious, naturally sweet and quite generous and filling. Our freshly ground spelt and oat flours have a beautiful wholemeal flavour and are nice and fluffy, just as you'd expect. We hope you liked this video and are now feeling confident enough to give it a go yourself. Don't forget to hit subscribe below if you haven't already. We'll link the blog post below about grinding other grains with a bit more detailed information as well. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and let us know as well in the comments section below if you have a go at making your own flour in the Vibe blender or if you have a go at these strawberry and ricotta muffins. We'll catch you next time.